I'm watching you as you come in. Hi, everybody. Woo. Can you see me? Can you see me? Hi, everybody. Hi, welcome in. I think you can see me. I can see you. I've had the distinct pleasure of watching you for a few minutes. I always try to refresh my chat. I can't tell how many people are here. I think most of our community's here. I gotta get that fixed, Team SG. I refresh my chat and I do live chat and I don't know. We can sort that later. I'm so glad you're here. Happy full moon, everybody. And welcome in. It is a dreamy full moon. I have to say, of this entire year, this is my favorite one so far, start to finish. It truly is. Because it's Pisces and we need it. We need this energy right now. I'm so excited. I have so much to tell you, and so I wanted to make sure we started right on time. I want to welcome in Team SG. I think I've got Hannah and Alexis in the house with me tonight. Very happy to have you. Well, that's almost our whole community. Okay, well, welcome in. And thank you for being here. We're very happy to see you. Okay. Woo! And yeah, where are you checking in from, right? All over the world. I saw Delaware. Hi, Delaware. From Ontario. I love it. Hi from Denver. Oh, Kim. I should have been in Denver this week. The saddest news of the fall for me is no Denver Gem Show. Because none of the people that we work with directly are going. So we're not going to Denver, and it breaks my little Leo 9 Crystal 11 heart. Because you know how I feel about Denver. That's the party. So anyway, next year I'm sure we'll be there. Look at that roll call. I love it. Well, welcome in from all parts of the U.S. and all over the world. I really want to say hello to you. Thank you for taking this time out of your evening. I want to invite you to take a nice deep breath. This space that I create once a month at the full moon is for you. It is truly for you. This is your time. This is your hour. This is your meditation. This is your sanctuary. I really want you to take this time. I will tell you, as a busy person, as a mom and a daughter and a wife and a partner and all the things that I do, employer, boss, right, sister, friend, as all the roles that we play, it's really important to feed yourself. Tonight, I think of as, me, I'm bringing you an energetic meal tonight. And I just want to sit you down and rub your shoulders and put this meal in front of you and have you consume it and receive it with the intention with which it was created. And tonight's intention, because I go by the signs, tonight's intention is to, and maybe close your eyes while I tell you this, so you can really receive. And again, that breath. Tonight's intention is to completely align you with the feminine. The feminine. And I want to clarify, sometimes we confuse our terms. We confuse feminine with female. We confuse masculine with male. I think that's a confusion, right? I am a very masculine female. So this lifetime for me is about learning how to be feminine, learning how to receive. I'm very good at giving. Love to give. I have to learn how to receive. I'm very good at creating and doing and timelines. I have to learn how to co-create and be soft, right? I'm very good at all the masculine. So tonight's about that. Tonight's about me serving you up a dish of the divine feminine. I have gotten quite good at it over the last decade. It's been a conscious process of becoming more attuned to my feminine. Right? So the masculine is not male, the feminine is not female, and then we have all kinds of energies in between. but tonight is highly feminine. And so for those of you who are female or identify as female but feel highly in your masculine, or for those of you who identify across the spectrum, I want to separate those terms. I also want to separate, a lot of people have been talking about, oh, shadow, shadow, shadow. You know, I'm in my shadow, she's in her shadow, this is our shadow, this is the shadow. I also want to separate the word shadow from anger a little bit. A lot of people are angry right now because the world is not in a aligned place. And they're saying, well, that's my shadow, that's, you know, I'm just in my shadow place. I don't think that's shadow. The shadow isn't something you can easily become aware of. The shadow is way underneath all the stuff that you're conscious to, right? Your shadow is what's driving what you can see. So if you can easily tap into it, that's not really your shadow. It's okay to be mad sometimes about things. And that doesn't mean you're shadowy. Just like it's okay to be very masculine and identify as female, right? We have to sort of, you know, are they kind of the same? Sometimes, but a lot of times they're not. A lot of times if you feel anger, for example, that's not your shadow. But you're angry because you're not identifying what that shadow energy is. So they can be connected. But the more you repress, deny the parts of you that are difficult to look at, the more they emerge in other forms that aren't directly related. Does that make sense? So I just want to kind of tonight, because in the realm of Pisces, we can play. Categories become kind of slippery, right? Who are you? What's real? What's an illusion? Remember that Pisces is ruled by Neptune. Neptune is one of my favorite outer planets because Neptune governs the subconscious. It governs, and it governs the collective subconscious. It's all the stuff that we don't know. And it gives us this really fun room to explore and to play and to be curious tonight. I really want you to be curious, to be dreamy. I'm raising a Pisces. And so she's really taught me what it means to be Piscean. And the energy tonight is, you know, just let go tonight of hard lines and categories. You give a Pisces, you guys know what coloring books are, right? You give a Pisces a coloring book and they're not gonna color in all those lines. They're gonna make new lines and then they're gonna color in their own lines. Because that's who they are and what they do. They're like, oh, thank you for this coloring book. Let me now go create my own entirely different coloring book and I'll hand it back to you, right? So the Pisces are going to teach you how to color outside the lines. And it's the greatest gift that we can give each other tonight. So tonight I want you to let go of hard lines, hard definitions, judgment. I want you to let go of having all the answers or needing to have all the answers. I want you to let go of linear time. I want you to let go of taking yourself too seriously. Can you do all of that tonight? Just for an hour. When we're done tonight, if you want to go back and be all serious and color in the lines, you can do that. Eventually the moon will be in another sign like Pisces or Taurus where they're more willing to follow the rules. That's right. So Deborah Marrero is right. There are no boundaries for Pisces. They don't understand it. What do you mean boundary? I'm not supposed to do that. I'm not supposed to think that. I'm not supposed to believe that. Well, I don't understand. Yeah, you should just give them blank pieces of paper. I do my best being a Leo mom to a Pisces daughter to learn from her and not resist it. And the one thing I'm going to tell you guys tonight that's most important about this energy is if you're trying to manifest something, and especially if it's something that seems like it's out of your reach. How many of you are trying to create something that you're like, I don't know if I can do it. I don't know if I can create that prosperity. I don't know if I can manifest that dream job or that dream relationship. I don't know. How many of you are in that place? Tonight, our entire focus tonight, and we're going to continue this, by the way, next month. Tonight's ceremony and next month's full moon ceremony are connected, and I'll show you how in just a second. Tonight I want you to begin the process of stopping what people call the hustle, you know what I mean? Like going, clawing, getting, grabbing, And I want you to learn from Pisces, they attract. They identify what they want, and then they magnetize it, and they're really good at it. It's the counter, it's the opposite, right? Of a lot of us who are like, no, if you want that, you go and make that happen. I was raised in an immigrant household, right? You want something, you go and you work hard for it, and you work hard for it, right? Whereas Pisces is like, I'm just gonna sit here and magnetize everything that I want. And they do it. So tonight is all of that energy. Do you guys have any questions? I've said a lot in these first few minutes. I know it's a lot. Okay, so the energies of tonight, if you got your full moon worksheet on sagegoddess.com, this is our gift to you. Every month, Team SG puts together this worksheet for you. It's free on sagegoddess.com. $0, 0 cents, 0 shipping. But it tells you all about each moon, the gemstones, the herbs, and the oils that you need to have. And then it helps you to call in the abundance or the energy of that moon. And then on the back, it tells you what happens when the moon transits Pisces. She sits on a throne of dreams, does she? And it gives you journal questions. And so what a lot of people are doing is they are printing these out and putting these in binders. So at the end of the year, because we make one for every new moon and one for every full moon. So at the end of the year, you'll have all of these filled out, and it's kind of fun to go back and read your responses. Do you ever do that? Like, really? I was thinking that back in September? Like, well, that's interesting, you know? Like, you'll surprise yourself as you go back through and read your reflections later. That's one of the things I do on New Year's Eve, is I go back through all my notes from the year. And I laugh at myself. I'm like, really? Back in March, I was worried about that or focusing on that? So these are at sagegoddess.com. If you didn't get the back, my printer prints two-sided. So I don't know. It does it automatically, but there are two sides. That's right. So if you would like it, it is there. It'll be up for you until tomorrow. So even if you miss it tonight, that's okay. I do want to show you. This is a titanium aura quartz pyramid, and this is a opal aura quartz Merkaba. That one I can feel all the way through my crown chakra. These are gifts. So if you get your full moon tools for next month, which is the jar, the honey jar, the candle, the solid perfume, the herbs, the art, and the 3-stone set, if you get your full moon tools for October before midnight tonight, 2 of you are going to win these incredible singing tools. They're both worth between $300 and $350. You can't buy them. I only have 2, and you only have until midnight. So if you haven't gotten your full moon tools, the code today is 19light for 19% off, and I want to show you what we're doing next month. So I'm Greek, as you know, and honey is sacred. In the ancient Greek tradition, the bee priestesses were called the Melissae, okay? And that's where the name Melissa comes from. And what the Melissae used to do is they would take crystals and they would take herbs and flowers and resins and mix it with honey, and then they would eat it, and they would anoint with it at their third eye, on their hands, on their feet. They would anoint each other with it. They would anoint sacred spaces with it. They would give it to flowers and trees and fruits as offerings. We are making power honey next month at the Aries full moon. And so this beautiful honey jar is the centerpiece of this month's kit. We had these custom made. They are so beautiful. This is a heavy a gold metal, and then the glass jar that goes inside All you have to do is bring your own honey or your own agave. I'm giving you everything else that you need. So you get your honey jar, you get Congo citrine, carnelian, and rutilated quartz. So these will go inside. Then you get the 3 herbs of power: marjoram, allspice, and grapefruit. And I'm going to teach you all about the metaphysical properties of those. Then you get your candle, which is poured with a brand new abundance blend that I made with beeswax absolute. And let me tell you all of the ingredients actually. Beeswax absolute, grapefruit, basil, frankincense, and there's also just a little bit of myrtle in there, which is another important prosperity essential oil. So this is a solid perfume that we will be anointing with next month, and it's a new prosperity blend. It's not like any of the other prosperity blends that I've made. I think you're really going to love it. And then you get your art piece too. So that is $79 before you're 19% off. And then if you get this before midnight, 1 of you, 2 of you are going to win these incredible singing tools. Isn't this beautiful? And I even, I put sari ribbons on these from my old sari ribbon collection. I've had these ribbons for probably 10 years. And I've anointed these ribbons with tonight's full moon perfume so that you have the energy of tonight when you receive these tools. So good luck. We'll let you know who wins. You have all the way till midnight Pacific time tonight. Isn't that fun? That honey jar is absolutely amazing. And I will tell you, once you start making ceremonial honey, you'll never want to stop. You can, not only can you eat it, one of the things I love to do with ceremonial honey is add it to my bath. And the other incredible way to work with it is if you make incense, it is the most powerful ingredient to add to your incense blend. It will make your incense burn longer and stronger, and the scent that it gives. So if you work with natural herbs, dried herbs, fresh herbs to make incense, add this ceremonial honey to it, and it gets better with time. Honey is a preservative. So your ceremonial honey will be good for you for at least 6 months, if not a year, because it's a natural fixative and a natural preservative. So it's something that's going to last you for a really long time. So this is the full moon kit. This isn't just for my students. Anybody can get it. I will tell you, I have about, I think the last time I checked, I had about 300 kits left, which is less than we're usually able to produce. And I apologize, but because of the pandemic, we couldn't get as many of the jars and as many of the tools. So if you'd like one, they're there. If you don't want one, that's okay. Leave it for somebody else because I don't have as many as I would normally be able to offer you. But enjoy it if you're getting it, and good luck, because 2 of you are going to get really awesome prizes tomorrow. Isn't that fun? Yeah, it's one of my favorite crafts, and I haven't done it this year with any of the groups. Now, one thing I'm going to tell you really quickly, if you do get the kit, I really recommend adding dried fruit. Please remember that for next month. And the reason is this is the last full moon of the harvest season next month. And this is the harvest of the dried fruit. This is after nature has given you all of the edible fruit and the edible vegetables and the edible everything in her garden. The last harvest is about taking off the fruit that dried on the vine. The grapes that are too sugary now to make wine with, right? Or the figs that turn dry and now they're super sweet on the vine. Take some of those dried fruits off and add them to this honey. They have incredible power. Dried fruit that dries on the vine, if you can find it, is one of the most powerful ritual tools because it has all of the energy of the harvest season, but it didn't get released. So it's like untapped potential. Never throw those fruits away. Save them and use them in ceremony. And next full moon, we're going to be incorporating those. So if you're in Australia, you're working the opposite side of the wheel, but that's okay, in my opinion, because you are moving into spring energy. This is going to be your power honey for spring. Just like we are moving to the darker season, you are moving to the lighter season. And so I would say absolutely New Zealand, Australia, Southern Hemisphere, there's quite a few of you. I feel like you could channel this power into a renewal springtime energy where we're going to take it into the end of harvest and a shadow season. Does that make sense? If you don't have a garden, what I would recommend is grab dried fruit from your local store or market, or if you're at home, grab dried fruit organic if you can from Amazon or wherever you shop online. That's what I would recommend. Yeah, and it's, I mean, honestly, the flavor it's going to bring to your honey is absolutely magnificent. Flower power for spring, that's right. We have quite a few of you in the Southern Hemisphere, and we love you down there. We need to bring SG to you one of these days. Okay, so we're going to begin. I'm going to start by smudging everybody because it is a full moon, and that's a lot of energy to be working. I'm going to start with some white sage, and I'm also going to burn a little bit of Palo Santo tonight. And anything else that you have that you would like to work with. Remember, when we burn sacred herbs, we aren't just clearing energy, we're also setting space. We are dictating what's welcome energetically into this circle and what isn't, right? I want you to use your intuition. Yes, your honey is edible, as long as you don't put things in it that are not edible. Everything I'm putting in the honey, everything I'm giving you is edible. You guys are so sweet tonight. My hair is just clean. I just washed it today. It always looks poofier when I wash it. Yeah, so if you don't have fruit on the vine, dried fruit is a perfect option. And then what you want to think about are the metaphysical properties of your fruits, right? Each one is a different one. I love working with stone fruit, and I'll tell you why. Stone fruit is the fruit of transformation. So dried apricots, for example, if you can find dried cherries, those are really nice. If you can find dried figs, that's another favorite. I love a good hibiscus, Tori. Thanks, you guys. So yeah, I think any of the dried fruits that you feel really connected to, but those are some of my favorites. And again, be thinking in terms of power. So anything else that you want to bring in and to add into your blend, maybe you have a power crystal that you want to, bring in to incorporate to charge next month. That could be good too. So, yeah, I don't wash my hair very much, I have to admit to you. So when I do, it probably is cause for celebration. Thanks, you guys. The secret to having long hair is you don't wash it. Our ancestors didn't wash their hair very much. That's really true. You probably would look back on your ancestors and think they were a very unclean group of people. But it's true. My mom's a hairdresser and an esthetician. She always taught me. She's like, people wash their hair too much shampoo, too often. Anyway, I learned from the best. So here's some Palo Santo for you. I'm so happy to be with you guys tonight, and especially for this Pisces full moon. We need it. The energy tonight is just right. It's just right. And if you have littles in your life, nieces, nephews, children, godchildren, incorporate them. Maybe not, if not tonight, next month. You know what I mean? Let them help you make the honey. The young ones have more power, right? Their life force is even stronger than ours. So incorporate them. They have that maiden energy, have them come in. Zoe, before next month's ritual, I'm going to have Zoe go into the garden with me and pick some fresh flowers, because I always put fresh flowers into my honey too. Fresh rose petals if you have them, right? If you're in Florida and you still have orange blossoms, lucky ducks, then put some orange blossoms in there. Yeah. So anyway, just things to inspire you for next month. Okay. I was in meditation this morning to get us started, and what came to me in meditation this morning was the following mantra. So again, maybe close your eyes and receive this for just a second. It sounds really simple on the face of it, but I realized after my meditation it's not so simple. The mantra is, it's all still there. Does that make sense to you? I want you to think about this. What does that mean to you? It's all still there. A lot of us had our lives sort of turned upside down 6 months ago, right? That's at least when things here in California got very different. And I think a lot of us here have started to wonder, you know, is life before this, is life as we understood it, is you know, all of our hopes and dreams that maybe got deferred for different reasons this year, right? A lot of us, internally or externally, consciously or subconsciously, have asked ourselves, is it still there? And what I got in meditation to share with you today is, it's all still there. The hopes, the dreams, the optimism, the integrity, the faith, the possibility, the truth, the wisdom, however you conceive of it, the prosperity, the potential, the flow, the level of conscious awareness, your gifts, that's right, it's all still there. Your laughter, right? Your conscious trust in a divine and really benevolent, generous, infinite, right? Resourceful universe, all of that is still there. That's right. I see you, labor of love, pet care. It's all still there. Isn't it simple and yet really profound at the same time? And again, this is that Piscean optimism. This is this realm of enchanted dreams where the most important thing you can have during this time are your dreams, your visions, your intentions. Sometimes going through these dark nights of the soul that we all go through, but I think collectively we're going through one as a union, right? Sometimes that's the one part of it that gets slippery and really difficult for us. It's like, can I still have faith? Is it still safe to believe, right? It's all still there. So tonight I want to cultivate your optimism. These are the energies of tonight's full moon. Your radiance, your beauty, your imagination, your expansion, your trust. Pisces doesn't understand I and me. They don't really get it. If you were live with me on Instagram with Zoe earlier, Zoe's a lot of things, right? She's not like the perfect kid. I'm not saying she is. But she's one of the least selfish human beings I've ever encountered. She really doesn't understand that somebody wants something for themselves and doesn't think about other people. It blows her mind, right? And she's been like that since she was a baby, even before kids really understand that there's a them and a you, and they have to be giving and they have to share their toys. I mean, she was always like, here, share my toys, share my food, that's Pisces. They don't want to have any boundaries. They just want to be part of your world. They want to be part of you. They want to be part of what you're doing. And so tonight I also want you to think about, have you set up too tight or too rigid of boundaries in your life? I've gone through it a little bit this season too, where I've been like, I'm gonna step away from that, or because I've been wanting to like conserve my energy. But Pisces is reminding us to open, right? No, let's be together. Let's share this moment. Let's share this energy. If I give you my energy, right, in a healthy, non-codependent way, but if I give you my energy, I still have an infinite amount of resources to draw on. I'm not giving you everything I've got. I believe that there's infinite energy behind that. So I can share with you without feeling like, oh, well, now they took all my energy, right? Again, this is what Pisces teaches us. I can give to you in love, and I don't have to worry that there isn't enough left. Pisces is never afraid if there's enough for them. It never crosses her mind. So that's the energy of tonight too. Okay, so we're going to be working with our candle. Let me just remind you of your tools for tonight. She picked this beautiful rose, by the way. Isn't that sweet? That was from our rose bush that we planted together. So your stone for tonight is zeolite, and everybody got a different cluster. Mine is a beautiful combination of apophyllite with calcite, and then there's stilbite. So I'll show you mine kind of up close. Stilbite always looks like a bow tie. It's that little pink. They form in like little rosebuds. And stilbite is the stone of remembering your dreams. All of the zeolite stones are about dreams, creating dreams, generating dreams, remembering dreams, aligning to your dreams. That's the energy of all of the zeolite stones. And so this is the crystal that we're working with tonight. And then our candle and our art, what the art says as the mantra is, my nature is abundant and my life is abundant. I allow the fullness of who I am to express as I walk in my divine inheritance. So that's our art for tonight. It's the same art that's on our candle. And so those are the tools that we are going to be working with. So as I do our meditation tonight, I'm going to have you hold that cluster, and you can hold it in your lap. You can hold it in your hands outwardly. You can just sit it in front of you and let the energy radiate. You got a nice big cluster, so it's something you can continue to work with after we're done tonight. We still have some of those, and we still have the perfume, by the way, which, like I said, is a new type of abundance plant. This is called Abundant Possibilities that we're going to anoint with. This is frankincense and oak moss. Oak moss is an alternative prosperity oil, and it's one of our customers' favorites because it's very sexy and it's very grounding at the same time. It helps you to hold on to what you attract. And then there's Lily of the Valley in here, which is absolutely the most perfect Pisces essential oil, and Nerolina. Nerolina as an essential oil is for rejuvenation. Nerolina is what you use as a plant medicine when somebody's exhausted. So this is helping you not feel exhausted so that you can call in your divine inheritance. And it's beautiful. Have you guys tried it? I love it so much. And you can anoint your crystals with this blend. You can diffuse this in your home if you want. It's going to give a sense of peace and calm, but also going to attract prosperity and protection at the same time. Isn't that beautiful? So yeah, so if you don't have the kit, that's why I create these. Which tells you which crystals, which oils, and which herbs to gather. And if you don't have this worksheet, then what I would say is use these are on sagegoddess.com, but don't leave, stay where we are. If you don't have any of that information, use your intuition. You're probably going to gather the right tools. And trust that you have exactly what you need. That's right. I love that. Cassandra says, use it yourself. You are your own best magical tool. I will always remind you of that. Okay. I want to read a poem to you before we start. I found this writer, this poet. Her name is Jen Richardson. Richardson. Jen Richardson. She wrote a book called The Cure for Sorrow. And I hope I can get through her poem without crying. Her book is on Amazon. I'm not promoting her book. I just found her poem online and I loved it. But if you fall in love with the poem, you can always go and find her book. And she's written many others that you might love too. So I want you to close your eyes and roll your shoulders back and let me read to you for just a second. This is Pisces full moon. From the moment I first laid eyes on you, this blessing and I have loved you. This blessing knew you from the start. It cannot explain how. It just knows that the first time it sat down beside you, it entered into a conversation that had already been going on forever. Believe this conversation has not stopped. Believe this love still lives. The love that crossed an impossible distance to reach you, to find you, to take your face into its hands, and to bless you. Believe this does not end, that the gesture once enacted endures. Believe this love goes on, that it still takes your face in its hands, that it presses its forehead to yours as it speaks to you in undying words, that it has never ceased to gather your heart into its heart. Believe this blessing abides in you. Believe it goes with you always. And believe it knows you too. Believe. Believe this love goes on, that it still takes your face into its hands. Isn't that beautiful? This love goes on. And this love This may be a love for some of you that hasn't even arrived yet. That's the most exciting thing. For some of you, this love hasn't arrived yet. It's on its way. And so tonight's a chance to rekindle your faith that if you haven't found this love yet, that it's already on its way to you. It's already looking for you too. It's been since the beginning of time. Okay. So tonight, as I begin to open our circle, tonight I want you to consider a couple of things as we get started. While we're in this realm of play and imagination and trusting and believing, in our Western culture, we don't like to do things twice. Have you noticed that? If we tell someone to do something again or redo something, how do they feel? They often feel resistant, or I don't want to do that again, or I already did it. I already learned that. I don't want to learn that again. But the prefix re, R-E, redo, relearn, remarry, reconnect, it has two meanings. It means to go back, and it means to do something again. But when it means to go back, it means to go back and to get another layer of magic, to get another layer of meaning, to get another layer of connection. When we reconnect with a person, when we reconnect with an energy, we get like a double boost from it, because it might be something that's already familiar to us, but when we revisit, when we go back again, we're different, right? I could give you the same exact meditation 2 years from now. It wouldn't be the same. I will be different. You will be different. The world's going to be different. Every time we do something again, we redo something, we learn, we turn the diamond, and we see a new facet. Tonight I want you to consider reintroducing yourself to yourself. I want you to consider reparenting yourself. I want you to consider reopening your heart. I want you to consider relearning compassion. I want you to consider remembering who you were when you were little and you weren't so afraid. And instead of going, well, I already did that. I was already a kid. I was already a teenager. I already went through all of that. I want you to use this Piscean energy tonight to come at it with a little more curiosity than that. What do you need to come back to again and look at through new eyes? And let this beautiful Pisces energy introduce you to what that can look like for you. Okay, so I am going to light my beautiful candle. I already burned this candle twice, but I couldn't resist because I've been doing some manifestation work, and it's poured with these alternative prosperity oils. So I've been, my candle's been hard at work for me for the last 30 days. And then I want you to bring your crystal closer to you for our work together tonight. I'd like you to take your oil if you have it. It's in a dropper because I want you to use it as a working tool. A little bit at your wrist. Take a little bit up to your third eye for what you know. A little bit at your wrist for what you do. A tiny bit down at your ankles for where you go to bless your steps. Doesn't it smell good? Those are all pure oils in this blend too. There's something about lily of the valley with oak moss, and I have never used those oils in combination together. So if you just want the oil, we do just have the oil for you. If you didn't get the whole kit, but you're like, I think I want that essential oil blend, we do have that for you. Ooh, it's called Abundant Possibilities, and you will kiss me on the face for it. It is so beautiful. Well, Brittany didn't get her candle. Will you let us know, Brittany? We will send that right off to you, girl. You need to get your candle. I'm so grateful you guys are here. So take a couple of nice deep inhales there. Your brain will start to connect this scent with this feeling with this energy, so that every time you smell this, you'll be drawn back to this moment and feeling energies of prosperity and energies of renewal and reopening and revisiting and reconnecting, remembering who you are. Yeah. Isn't it gorgeous? Yeah, it's one of my favorites too. I'm glad you guys like it. Okay. So I want to begin by calling in the guides and guardians of the beautiful four directions to be with us before we start our meditation part of our journey tonight. So I want you to roll your shoulders back, put your hands on your knees with your palms facing up. Make sure your spine is nice and straight. Adjust your posture. It allows the energy to flow through that central channel. Remember, your spinal column is the central channel through which energy flows in your body. So your posture is important. It instantly opens and aligns the chakras and ground into the floor. And I want you to imagine that a beautiful white beam of light extends out of your left hand tonight. And I want you to allow that white beam of light to leave your left hand and extend clockwise all the way around our circle this evening. We have incredible spirits in this community who join us from all over the world, crossing time zones and continents and bodies of water. Just imagine that white beam of light connecting us all across space and time. So your left hand should feel kind of tingly, and then your right hand will feel kind of tingly as that beam of light comes back to you. And then let that light enter through the palm of your hand, move up through your arm, over your shoulder, and then let that burst of energy flow through that entire central channel, flowing from crown to root. And just receive the energy. You know, people who are gathered here tonight, some of you are new, a lot of you have been with me for a long time. It's a really powerful community of souls. I'm so grateful that you're here. And allow this, if you've been feeling discouraged, allow us to bathe you in a little bit of encouragement tonight. It is late, Joe Star, in London, UK. I'm so thankful you're there. Thank you for staying up with us. And we appreciate you. Right? And just feel that wave of love, acceptance, nurturing, presence. Luna in all of her majesty shining down upon all of us wherever we are tonight. And so guides and guardians of the East, we welcome you in first, element of air. We thank you so much for bringing in a new wave, a new cycle, a new way of connecting to our dreams tonight, to open up to our imagination. We thank you for opening the space with us and for us, guardians of the air element gateway tonight. We welcome you with gratitude. And to the guides and the guardians of the South, thank you for energies of fire tonight, courage, transformation, change. We know everybody's experiencing change. Thank you for teaching us how to be fearless through it, how to be brave, how to be strong, how to shed skin like snake medicine in the South. We welcome you in with gratitude. And to the guides and the guardians of the West, emotional purification tonight, really allowing yourself. You've got the moon, which is a water planet, in a water sign. Get in touch with those emotions tonight. If the tears come, let them come. That is the currency of the Western directional gateway. And so those tears are how they purify. Remember that saline that is in your tears, especially ceremonial tears, have an entirely different pH than the tears of sadness and grief. And so this is a powerful opportunity for you to really allow those energies to move. And so if you start to feel teary or weepy in any way, just completely surrender and receive that energy. It's a gift from the feminine tonight. We welcome in the guides and the guardians of the West. And then to the guides and the guardians of the North, we thank you for steadiness and patience. We thank you for incredible teaching and wisdom in the North, for protection. We welcome in the guides and the guardians of the Northern Gateway with gratitude. And so it is. So it is. Okay. through your energy field and mine with my rattle first. We always like to, this is exfoliation. Rattling is spiritual exfoliation. It's really important, especially on a watery night like this, to smudge, which I already did for you, and then to go through your field with the rattle. It's going to just shift and kind of slough off any energies that are already ready to go. And you can slough off from today, from this week, from the last year. You can choose how much needs to go. Some of you've got a lot of dead skin. Some of you are regular exfoliators and you don't have that much. So, right? And if you're absolutely, say as a Scorpio and she's into it, Scorpios are feeling tonight. It's good for you. Woo. And if you want, you can move around. So I'll go through and rattle the front of you. And then if you want to flip around, I'll go through and rattle the back of you too. Again, just moving subtle energies in your field. And you don't have to be here in the room with me for this to work. Energy work is very powerful. And it crosses space and time boundaries because it's not tethered to this dimension. That's right. Welcome and happy birthday to your mom, Lori Ingraham. Thank you. Love in the time of Corona for sharing, and so many birthday blessings to your mom. How sweet that is. Of course you can rattle with your Mentos. I love it. Tools don't have to be fancy to work, my friends. Our ancestors were using little rocks and little, they were using seeds and seed pods. You don't have to get fancy. Aww, it's so sweet. I love it so much. And then if you need to turn around, get the back side of you, kind of clean that off too. Okay, now, and happy birthday to all the Virgos out there. We love you. We do. We're so grateful for you. So if you've got your crystal or whatever crystal you're going to charge tonight in our ceremony, keep it with you. You can put it in your lap. This is going to come sit in my lap with me for a minute because I need my hands for my tools. But if you're not going to be rattling, drumming, doing anything alongside me, which you don't need to, you can honestly just relax and enjoy the meditation. Then you can hold on to your crystal if you want, or just let it be in the space with you. Crystals, and I do want to say this since I have so many of you live, and if you're in my crystal healing class, you know this, you don't have to do anything special with your crystals to make them work. They don't have an on-off switch. They're already working. Your crystals have an intelligence. They found you. You think you found them. You didn't. They found you. They're already working. They just need to be in your space. I mean, they calibrate energy, and they all have a different frequency. So there's nothing for you to do. Just hold it. But I think people want to believe that there's some like magic incantation that like activates your crystals or something like that. They're already working for you. They're a more advanced technology than we're used to. So good. Yeah, if it's comfy in your lap, that's good. Ooh. So tonight, I want to take you back in time. And I want you to decide where you go tonight. I want you to choose a time to go back to in your life. And if you never had a time like this, then let's pretend we're going to go forward and you'll create this time for yourself. This is what we call reparenting. So if you never had a moment like this, it's okay. I want you to imagine that you will have a moment like this in the future. But if you had a moment like this in the past, I want you to go back to it tonight. A moment where you had not yet learned to question or doubt or fear people, places, and experiences around you. When you had faith, when you trusted, when you believed, when you had not seen what the world's capable of yet, when you were in a state of innocence and a connection to just absolute pure faith. And in that moment, in that time, I want you to find a moment even deeper down where you felt absolute joy from simple things, from going out and picking a flower in the garden, or a piece of fruit off the tree, from playing with a friend of yours, from inventing a game, or just simply from being in nature. Maybe you grew up someplace magical. I know a lot of you did, and maybe there were beautiful gardens or open land where you could run and play and everything seemed possible. And again, if you didn't have these moments as a child, maybe you're having them now as an adult, right? Like I've learned how to create this for myself. And if you haven't had these moments yet, then I want you to imagine and project into a moment in the future when you can create this for you. And it's okay, again, it's okay to cry. It's okay to cry because a lot of us had moments where that innocence was lifted, right? Where we learned that people can be hard and cruel and the world can be a judgmental place, right? That's so serious and doesn't nurture your imagination, right? But I'm talking about before that, when the universe around you was simple and beautiful. Ooh. And that's okay. Don't overthink it. Let it be easy. Just let it be easy tonight. Maybe you've seen it through another child's eyes, right? I watch my own children who still really believe in the goodness, the purity, the possibility, the innocence, right? Ooh. And I want you to go back and reconnect with that little you, that little person, or that future you, that future person, which can still be little you, by the way. I still have a little me, right? I'm sure you have a little you. Woo. It can be in the womb. It can be 10 years from now, right? Again, if you didn't have it before, this is your invitation to co-create it in the future. I love that. Saying goodnight to the sun. I'm saying goodnight to the sun too, here in LA. And I want you to imagine seeing that other version of you, younger, older, whatever it is. And I want you to imagine walking alongside. Walk alongside that little you for just a second. Imagine being able to follow him or follow them along the street and just come up and tap them on the shoulder and say, "Hi, can I walk with you for just a minute?" And imagine them looking up at you with big eyes, right? Ooh. Maybe that little you would hand you a flower that they picked for you today. Can you imagine? If they looked at you and said, "It's so nice to see you. I picked this flower for you." And imagine how you would respond. You would say, "Oh, that's the most beautiful flower I have ever seen." And I want you to imagine that little you, or future you, or present you, can give you a gift. Can you imagine what that would be? What would be the most meaningful gift that the authentic you, that's the part of you I'm trying to get at tonight. Doesn't matter whether it's 5 years old or 60 years old or 100 years old or 10 years old, doesn't matter. What gift would the authentic you give yourself tonight? And imagine that they can give you almost anything. They can give you trust. I imagine little me would look at me and say, you need to play more. Honestly, little me would look at me and say, you don't read as much as you used to, which is true. Reading, I always tell my kids, and they don't believe me. You know, we didn't have devices, so I was a reader. My dad worked 6 days a week, so on his day off, he would take us to the library. It was a big deal, and I was so excited just to spend time with him. You know, so I would take my old library books back, and I would get my new library books, and that's how I escaped. That was my imagination, was whatever the new books were that I got that week, right? And again, my kids are like, really? That was fun for you? I'm like, well, you know, it was 1983 or whatever, right? I mean, you got to kind of go with what we had, right? So what would little you tell you? You don't what as much as you should, right? Isn't it beautiful? Permission to be yourself and let your guard down more from Tammy. Isn't that beautiful? Just a hug. And it's okay. Honestly, cry. I will tell you something. It is important to get the emotions through and process. To cry, to scream if you have to hug. Go get a pillow and hug it. If I was there, I would hug you. I would wrap my arms around you. Tonight's all that feminine. I want to hug you and rub your shoulders and kiss you and stroke your hair and make you tea and wipe your tears and make it all better for you. Draw you a bath and tell you it's going to be okay. It's going to be okay. Because it is. Because it is. And they might tell you, you know what, you're too serious. Or they might say, you need to laugh more. You know, this is all funny. You should laugh a little bit more, right? That's right. Woo! Come in and get your shoulders and move that energy around and hug you and kiss you and mwah. Okay. So this is a full moon. At a full moon, we don't set intentions. That's what new moons are for. At the full moon, we manifest, we express, we receive, we celebrate. What do you need to manifest right now? And this is a harvest for you too, but it's a harvest of your imagination. It's a harvest of your faith. It's a harvest of your trust. It's true. I would. I would do this ceremony with you, and then I would tuck you in and kiss you on the forehead, and this is a harvest. I remember when I was a college professor in my first couple of years, I had a lot of mentor teachers. I remember I had one mentor teacher who came in, and the mentor teacher said, you know, you can't nurture your students. You're not their parent. You're here to teach them, but you're not here to nurture them. And I remember, like, that just struck me. I absolutely remember where I was sitting, what I was wearing. Like, it was one of those moments. And I have to say, I can't disagree more. I think all the good teachers nurture their students. They care about the soul and not just the mind. They worry. Did the students learn? Did they understand? Are they having trouble? You know, like, the good teachers, they nurture the soul too. So this is the water element chime. And then we have to balance. I like to balance energies, right? So across the medicine wheel from the water element is the air element. Lightens it up just a little bit. And so we balance water with air so that we don't take it too seriously. We go into those emotional depths, but then we lighten it up. We pull back out. Whew. I'm so glad that you feel held. Don't lose your faith. It's all still there. I know you've been through a lot. And I don't just mean this year. I know you've been through a lot for a long time. Don't lose your faith. There's still a North Star. There's still a guiding light. You'll get through this the way you've gotten through everything else that's happened in your life. Don't lose your faith. It's all still there. So I want you to imagine right now, if you're willing, then it helps if you stretch your arms out. If you want to lay down, you can kind of stretch your arms out, stretch your legs out. I'm going to play this air chime for about 30 seconds, and I want you to let it move through you. And as it moves through, I want you to imagine it's like a breeze, and it's just moving the dust off your soul tonight. Whatever's too heavy for you to carry around, old energy, old beliefs. Your faith is still under there. The truth of your spirit, your integrity, your authenticity, it's all still under there. No, I'm so glad it's resonating with you guys tonight. I have to tell you, everything I'm telling you is in my notes. It all came through meditation. And it all felt really, really aligned. So Great Spirit, on this full moon, I ask that you bless everyone who's watching now and everyone who will watch later with the emotional healing of the West and the clarity of the East. I want you to feel those hemispheric winds blowing through tonight. Healing and clarity. If you have a crystal, you know, crystals just really are it's so easy for them to receive and hold energy. That's why we love them. I call it programming. You can call it aligning or connecting or vibing or whatever, however you think of it. But if you have a crystal that you are working with tonight, I want you to take it in both hands. And I want you to commit to letting this be a reminder, a crystal reminder to you, a talisman. Maybe it's a piece of jewelry that you have. Maybe you don't have a crystal, but you have a necklace that you wear all the time. So let's let that hold this energy. And I want you to commit to infusing the energy, the vibration of this experience into that crystal or that talisman or whatever it is. So that every time you see this or touch it or wear it, I want you to remember the feeling of tonight. If you take this energy and you share it with one other person, I'm telling you, I have people all the time who tell me, I don't feel like there's anything I can do. I'm just one person. Who am I? I can't make a difference. If you share this with one other person, your energy, even if you don't talk about it, if you just raise your vibration and connect with another human, virtually or in person or whatever, imagine the ripple that makes. You know, if you can take this vibration and feel it in your spirit and tell one other person, you know what, you keep being you. You keep doing it, keep going. It's all still there. Find the little person inside of you and connect with them and let them teach you something, right? We adults think we've got it all figured out. We don't. The kids have a lot to teach us. We're just not humble enough to hear it sometimes. They're ready, right? Whew. I'm really glad you felt tonight, because it was my intention, it was my pure intention to come in and just give you some love tonight. To just let it spill out from my heart space to where you are. And like I said, if you can feel even just the edge of that tonight, I wish you the most beautiful evening. I wish you a beautiful night's sleep tonight. And do what a parent would do for you tonight, right? Make yourself some tea, tuck yourself in, sleep with your favorite pillow or blanket, right? And just let tonight be all about peace for you. And try to connect in with that energy. And then each day, for the next 30 days until we see each other again at the next full moon, try to reconnect in some small way with what we did here, right? And that's why I give you the journal questions in the worksheet, so that can be a reminder to you. Or even if you just touch base and go, have I talked to my little person today? Have I asked them how they feel? How does she feel today? And honestly, a lot of times my little person is like, why are you spending your time on that? Can't we just read a book? I'd rather do that, right? And then whatever crystal you're working with tonight will come to have extra meaning for you. And not just during this weird time on our planet, but even once we're through this particular corridor, because we will move through this corridor, and then we'll have to ask ourselves, what did we learn? Were we kind to each other? Did we maintain our playfulness and our imagination, or did we get too serious and bogged down, start to judge each other too much, right? We got all adulty and human-y, right? So let's not be too adulty and too human-y. Let's be more childlike and more innocent and more playful, and move more into the realm of the imagination. If you didn't feel like you had an experience right here in the moment, Priscilla, that doesn't mean the wisdom and insight didn't come to you. For some people, it comes in their dream time afterward. For some people, it's happening in the subconscious, even though they're paying attention and watching and being very serious and taking notes. There's something subconscious going on. I transfer light codes with my vision. So some people actually, it probably sounds weird, but some people actually watch me and don't listen to what I'm saying, because there's a whole other conversation going on. People share light codes in a lot of different ways, but that's how I express mine, my voice and my vision. So some people come and just shut the volume off. And that's okay too, because there's something else going on here, which is interesting. And maybe give yourself a gift from your little this week. What would your little give you? Again, could be something really simple, a flower that you pick on your walk, you know, or maybe they draw you a picture and your little person draws you a picture, right? Wouldn't that be fun? I think it would. So, you know me and how I roll with Greek history and mythology. So Neptune rules Pisces, and Neptune has a trident. And Neptune believed there were three worlds: the physical world, where you and I live; the spiritual world, where the spirit guides live; and then there's the world of the mind, the world of the imagination. And Neptune conceived that as an entirely different world. And that is the world you can control to a certain extent. If your thoughts start leading you in a depressed direction, then change your thoughts. If you start feeling out of touch with your imagination, then start to play more. That third world that Neptune saw as part of his trident, right? The physical world, the spiritual world, the world of the mind. That is the realm of play. And it's just as important as the physical world that we live in or the spiritual world that we live in. So don't forget that. You have a lot of control over that domain. Where your thoughts go, and that's where your intentions go, that's what you manifest. So if you don't like the direction your life is heading in, then tonight's a great night to stop and go, I'm not going to be so serious. I'm not going to get bogged down. I'm not going to play the game. I'm not going to forget who I am. I'm not going to be inauthentic. I'm not going to be unkind. I'm going to remember who I am and bring that forward into the world. All right, thank you for it. So I want you to imagine, just like that energy came to you in your right hand, you're going to release it from your right hand, and it'll go back counterclockwise around the circle tonight. So we can begin to unwind our space and release the energies. We give thanks and release the guides and the guardians in the opposite direction in which we welcomed them. So we first release the guides and the guardians of the north. We thank you for your patience and your presence, for always reminding us to take our time. Tonight I think we learned that lesson and heard that guidance. And we give thanks and release the guides and guardians of the north. And to the guides and the guardians of the west. I'm thankful for emotional renewal tonight. And again, energies of purification and flow and divine feminine nurturing and all of that came in tonight is courtesy of this Neptune influence and this beautiful Piscean full moon. I hope you enjoyed it too. So we give thanks and release the guides and guardians of the west. And to the guides and the guardians of the south, we give thanks and release you as well. We thank you for transformation and courage, strength, stamina, perseverance, and playfulness. The Southern Guardians are the ones who remind us how to be a kid again. So they did play a role tonight, even though it was mostly a Western water gateway ceremony tonight. So we give thanks and release the guides and guardians of the South. And then last but not least, to the guides and the guardians of the East, thank you for opening our minds to a new perspective tonight to help us shift the energy. Thank you for teaching us how to keep it light and not take it all so seriously. So thankful again that you guys are all here tonight. And we give thanks and release the guides and the guardians of the East. Thankful as always for a new day, a new cycle, a new way of thinking and being in the world. And we release you with gratitude. Take one more deep inhale of that oil. Whew. I had a boyfriend in high school who wore oak moss. I don't know what kind of cologne it was, but whenever I smell oak moss, it's like I'm 15 again. It always makes me think of him. Divine. And that'll kind of stir up your youthful situation too, if it brings you to a memory that ties you to an earlier time. Yeah. It feels good to cry sometimes. I'm not a crier, you know what I mean? It's not my regular MO, but it does feel good to let those tears flow and connect with them. And there is something about getting in touch with your inner little one that does, for a lot of us, really, there's a touch point there that's very powerful. So I'm really glad you guys were here tonight. I want to thank you for being here. So the moon is technically full, as it says on your worksheet, at 10:22 p.m. Pacific time, which is exactly 3 hours from now. We do not have an eclipse. So what that means is your stones can go outside tonight. You can go outside tonight. You can moon charge some water tonight if that is something that you love to do. Sometimes when there's an eclipse, the energy is a little bit wonky, not as stable, but tonight we don't have that influence, so that'd be a great night to charge all your goodies. And I really enjoyed being with you. I really, really did. It's true. Well, some people like, I agree that time is an illusion, but some people like to know like the exact minute when the moon is full, and she's at her biggest and her best, so that'll be 3 hours from now. And just a reminder that you have about 4.5 hours if you would like to enter to win the gifts. Zoe was playing with this one earlier. I was like, no, you can't keep that. She was all excited about it. She's like, but the colors of the ribbons are my colors. I'm like, yeah, I know, Pisces. These are totally Piscean tools, I have to say. So these two are gifts. One is going to go to 2 different people tomorrow who get their full moon tools for October before midnight tonight. That's for our honey ceremony next month. So if you want to do honey ceremony, the tools are at sagegoddess.com. These are them right here. This is going to be your new favorite manifestation perfume, by the way. So you get the perfume, you get the candle, you get the honey jar, the 3 herbs, the art, and the stone trio. And then it's 19% off with your code 19light. Don't forget your code. And then we'll announce the 2 winners of the incredible singing tools tomorrow. It is starting to get darker earlier. This is the first time it's been almost dark at the end of our full moon ceremony since spring equinox. The wheel is turning, my friends. Isn't that sweet? So yeah, if you already got your kit, you're in good shape, and we'll announce the winner tomorrow. And once again, I just want to thank you. I want to thank Team SG2. Thank you, as always, Hannah and Alexis, for being there. We are very, very thankful to you. And we love you. Thank you. I hope tonight continues to be a source of renewal and inspiration for you. If you're not tired of me yet, you can have a whole 3 hours of me tomorrow with Dave downstairs in my living room. It's the live gem sale from you're upstairs right now in my crystal room in my house. Those are my little stuffed animals. Tomorrow we'll be live from my living room downstairs from 3 to 6 p.m. Pacific time. And then Thursday, my students in Soul Shift, I'm teaching them how to make prayer wands. So we have a bonus class on Thursday. So don't get tired of me yet. We got 2 more days of fun ahead of us before our work together for this first week of September is complete. Pretty crazy that it's September, isn't it? Kind of blew my mind this morning. I'm like, I don't know how I feel about that. I didn't really feel like we had a summer. Maybe we'll get a burst of summer this week or something like that. Anyway, so thankful, and especially to those of you who had partners or friends or were watching with the birthday girl from another state, or had your partner with you. New Zealand. I don't have anything fun to drink tonight. This is ginger ale, but I'll cheers you with ginger ale. It is yummy. We'll see you tomorrow, everybody. Have a great rest of your evening. Thank you for being here. Have a great night. Keep dreaming. Remember, it's all still